Good morning, gardening friends. It's now Thursday, January 31st at 11 a.m., give or take. And let's do a quickie update on the garden, because I want to talk about sun tracking, something that I do to try and figure a few things out. First of all, let's take a look at the tomato. And I've begun to do what I saw somebody on YouTube calling spanking your tomatoes, which is basically just... I haven't done this yet today, so it's just basically what it does is it helps to pollinate the flowers on the tomato, and you just kind of work your way from the bottom to the top along the main stem. And actually, if you look, you can see, let me see if I can get in there. I don't know how well you can see near the top. We've got a couple of new flowers, so we'll see if that turns into anything. I don't know if I covered this on the last one, but I cut off some of the branches at the bottom there. What I'm trying to do is sort of train this tomato plant to stay sort of within the confines of that first section of the planter. Obviously it's going to spread out quite a bit, but yeah, I want to get it to go more upright than spreading out too much, so that I can sort of control it and keep it within its space. Anyway, that's that. No progress on the melons yet. Obviously it's only been a couple of days. And then we only got the 3 plants over here, which are the chard, the broccoli, and the butter crunch lettuce. All looking okay. I cut the tops off the lettuce to try and put the energy back down low. We'll see if that generates anything. And then back over here, actually, we've got chard and spinach, and I forget which one's which, but I know I actually documented that in the last section of this episode. Anyway, so that's on the patio, and we'll go out and look real quick. But what I'm also going to do is show you a series of pictures, and then I'll explain kind of what I'm talking about with sun tracking. So here we go. Okay, so here's what the planters behind the office look like, and you can see there's not, well, let's see, there was a yellow flower on one of these. Where did it go? It's not just hiding, it's gone. Okay, and well, I'm not seeing it, but I did notice getting more production over here. We got 2 orange flowers, and just so that they continue to move energy around, I'm going to go ahead and pinch one off, and you can see how it's sort of attached. These are the nasturtium, and they really are nice to eat. Anyway, so that's what these are all looking like right now. And if I move on down here, you can see our plant that's still dormant, but alive, I guess. I hope. So I got to figure out what to do with these, but that's part of where I'm going into this sun tracking thing. And we've got these over here, and if you look, you can kind of see where the sun is directly shining on things, and that's a part of what we're dealing with. And we got the Nandina over here. So basically what sun tracking is I want to see, maybe if I pull back and go this way, and you may see my shadow now, but if you look at it, the sun, the way it goes across the sky, ends up giving me more light up on the wall here to start with, and then it works its way down. So if I were to stay here long enough, or if I show you another picture a little bit later, you'll see the sun moving to the right. What I want to know is I want to know how much time these plants are being exposed to actual direct sunlight. And the only way to really do that is to take pictures from time to time and then go back and look at them and figure out in each area of the garden. For some of you it may just be a simple garden and you may only have one area to look at. Here I've got the apartment complex, I've got plants in various different places. So I need to figure out, am I getting 2 hours of sun, 4 hours of sun, 8 hours of sun? And from there I'm going to figure out, in terms of a planting scheme, which plants to put where, depending on how much sunlight they actually require. So that's essentially all there is to it. I took a series of pictures for 11 o'clock today. I didn't get out to do this until 11 o'clock today, so tomorrow I'm going to have to try and get out 8 o'clock or something like that, and see where the sun is at 8, 9, 10, and I'm going to track through the rest of today. So you really only need about 24 hours to do all that tracking, unless you actually forget to take a few pictures, because sometimes life gets in the way trying to do this. For most of you, probably doing it on the weekend makes the most sense, so hopefully if I can release this on Saturday morning, then you may be able to see it. You may be able to run out and do it, although we've got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, so I don't know how many of you are going to be hibernating indoors. But anyway, that's all sun tracking is. So I'll show you a series of pictures with the time on it, or the approximate time on it, so you can get an idea how much sun my plants are getting, and I can use that to start figuring out what plants I have, which ones I want to buy, and where I want to put them. So that's it for today. Unless I do, well, actually I got some old planting ideas, so there may be a little bit more of an update. That's it for now. I just wanted to give you a quick look at something here. It did occur to me that, you know, where I've got these first 3 on the back planted, or seeds in them, that 4th one, I was trying to figure out what to do with it, and it occurred to me I do actually have some other lettuce seeds, so I'm going to drop them in there, and then maybe what I'll do is put some somewhere along the front here, either on the first one, I don't know if it'll be the last one, which I got junk in right now, but I'm looking at putting some spinach besides the spinach that's already back there. So I got a couple of things I can put in here, but then I remembered I haven't finished what I was doing last year. Was putting, I don't know how well you can see, there's the foil tape in the corner there, and what I was doing was trying to essentially seal one compartment against the other so that roots didn't grow through, because again, I don't know how well you can see, there is a joint right there where 2 boards meet. It's a little bit more evident on the front. So the boards are only just so big when I built this, and so I built it, I put it all together, I filled it up all with soil beginning of last year, and didn't think to actually seal one compartment against the other, so that if I put plants that aren't compatible with one another, plants that have certain microbials and what have you, that another plant in an adjacent section wouldn't like, I didn't want them transmitting through. So all I'm doing is just putting foil tape. So I got to put foil tape between these 2 and between this one and this one, but I'm not worried about the outside, because if anything happens, it's just going outside the box here. So I'm going to put up foil. I'm going to finish sealing up as I go. I've filled this one back here to capacity. This one's mostly empty because I was trying to figure out where I left off. So it looks like I left off here, and I think I'm going to have to do sealing here and over here. So I'm going to get to the foil tape, and then I'm going to start filling with soil, and then I'll get to planting. Alright, so that's that, and now I'm going to go shoot a bunch of pictures for the sun tracking. Okay folks, I think I'm done planting for the day. I'll keep tracking the sun, but you can actually kind of see when, well, let me tell you what I've done. I've finished relining this one over here and this one over here, and that's why I've got 2 seeds, because I've planted seeds in those 2. I went back through my seeds and realized I had some more lettuce. That's a black-seeded Simpson, and I've got spinach, which is a well, this says Ford Hook. I don't know exactly. Salad Fresh Hybrid. High yielding. Well, we'll see about that. Anyway, if you actually look, you can see where some parts of the patio and other obstructions are casting shadows here. So what I did was I planted the spinach in rows. I got 1 row running right here in the sun. And I got another one running right along here, although there's a piece of wood right here, because that's part of the support to tie these 2 sides together. But anyway, I planted seeds there. Those are the only ones I would really expect to germinate, but went ahead and planted another row in between in the shade, and we'll see what happens with that. So that's what I did with those 2. This one here has been relined, but I started moving the dirt over. This one I've emptied out so I can reline it. I'm going to let that sit until tomorrow so it'll dry out a little bit more. Soil holds moisture, and it's hard to stick the tape down when the wood is moist. So I'm just sort of an excuse, I guess, to leave something of this for tomorrow. And then it's just junk over here as I'm working, but I'll eventually get this one and the next one taken care of. And that should be it for today as far as video. I'm going to continue to shoot my sun tracking pictures, and we'll see where that takes us. Greetings, gardening friends. It's now Saturday, February 2nd, and this will be the last part of this episode. Just want to give you the cookie update here and show you something with some suggestions. So here's our tomato. I actually need to put more green tape over on the side here and update it. I've done a lot of work in figuring out how much sun I get in various different areas. In short, my whole sun tracking project, basically all I did was take a picture of this big planter and a separate picture of the entire patio, and I took those pictures every half hour all day yesterday. If you have just one area of your garden, then you probably only need about one picture. You need to do it periodically, like every half hour or so. By doing that, what you can do is actually go back and look at those pictures and figure out about when the sun hits a certain area and when it leaves that certain area, and figure out how much direct sunlight that area is getting. From that, I was able to figure out that the most sun covers approximately this much area on my patio. With a little less sun going over there, a little less sun going along here. So what I've actually done, I used to have 3 plants right there, and you may have already just noticed that. I have my lettuce right here. I've moved that over because it gets about an hour and a half less sun, believe it or not, over here. I can't do much about moving the melons. I certainly can't move the tomato because this big planter is just too big to move. Excuse me. But anyway, that's pretty much what I did to track the sun, and I'll give you more updates on where I decide to plant things as I go. But that does help me. I shot about 12 pictures each half hour yesterday. It helps me figure out how much sun each of those areas are get and make a plan for what plants are going to go where. Beyond that, I haven't actually mentioned it before, but I'm going to go ahead and spank this tomato today. I just think that's just the coolest sort of concept and the oddest sort of name, and I'll give you a link to that video that I found just so you can see the other guy talking about it. But he had some amazing production on his tomatoes, so hopefully that'll help my tomatoes this year. Beyond that, I also want to mention, now that I have the sun tracking figured out, I'm also doing these cards. So I have a card behind my Swiss chart here, which gives me all sorts of details about this and helps me figure out how much water to give it, how much sun it should get, what kind of fertilizer, what the soil conditions should be like. I haven't really been very careful with my soil, but if I see something that tells me it should be much more acidic or much more alkaline, then I can make adjustments for that for each individual plant, especially since I've got a lot of my plants in boxes like these. It also helps me figure out how often should I water, or at least it'll get me closer to a real program on that. Maybe if I have a whole bunch of plants that require full sun, I'll put them in the sunniest part of the garden, but then I'll put the ones that require less water on one side and the ones that require more water on another side, or in groupings. So that should help me to get that all worked out. The plant cards, I wanted to tell you, I made a separate video for that. I'm going to be posting it tonight along with this episode, or at least I'm going to try and get this all out tonight. My hope is, if any of you don't really care for the Super Bowl tomorrow, maybe you could actually decide to make some plant cards for your own garden. On the other hand, many of you probably won't see this until after the actual Super Bowl, so it may not be of any consequence. But go ahead and take a look and let me know what you think. And let me know what you think of these episodes too. I always like the feedback. So that should be it for here. There's not a whole much more going on outside. Maybe the one thing I could sort of point out is we had some plants die out in front of the office there, so you see a couple of planters right there. I put those out there. They don't have anything in them yet. Ultimately, I need to get the landscapers to put something back in that place, but for the time being, since the plants were dead and pulled out, I kind of wanted to put something in its place. So I may just fill up those pots and put some flowers in it, just to give some visual interest right there. That's it for today. That's it for the episode, and I may pick up and continue tomorrow. We'll see. Thanks for watching.